What is good, y'all? It's your boy Tav, and we're back with another video. And hey, man, we are finally back with the Comedic Country Boys podcast, and we got ourselves a special guest joining us in this episode. We got two of them, but not really two of them, but we just got our one. We would like to thank Brother Jariah. If y'all new to the channel, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on my boy Brother Jariah. You already see it. You see his channel right there. Follow him on all social medias. And go ahead, you already know, follow me on all social medias. Y'all should know. I be promoting my stuff every day. But we're going to go ahead, welcome our special guest, as he is on the phone with us. You know what I'm saying? He's on the phone. You got anything to say first?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? All I gotta say it. Best designer dogs in town, baby.
So this is my dad, if y'all don't know. If y'all don't already know what's going on, this is my dad. We decided to do a video together for the first time. But Jeffrey, you got anything you want to say real quick?
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tay, shout out to Papa Tay, what y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Big Riot. Follow me on my social medias, you know what I'm saying? YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Shout out to Tay. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it, man.
Alright, so let's get ready for first topic. First topic is very near and dear to our hearts as football fans. Not only football fans, but college football fans. The college football season is upon us, and pretty much we are all ready for this season. We are ready to see what is going to go down, who is going to be crowned the national champion, and who is just going to have a good year, who is going to be that underdog, who is going to be the worst team of college football. And pretty much, I was on the phone with my dad a couple of days ago, and pretty much we just had like a whole conversation about football. This is pretty much all we do. And I do the same thing with Jeffrey, a.k.a. Brother Jariah. So we pretty much, this is, when we get to talking about football, we just get to talking about football. So right now, with this first topic, we're going to go ahead and do a small introduction to our favorite teams of college football. As you already know, my team is Alabama, Roll Tide. My father also is an Alabama fan who also played for Alabama. And Jeffrey?
You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know the Tennessee Volunteers. I ain't gotta say too much. It's the Volunteers. Y'all already know.
But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead, since we already introduced it. We're gonna go ahead and continue. Me and my dad. We're gonna try to continue our conversation that we had. And what we were talking about is how Alabama and how the SEC itself as a whole is just gonna be dominating the playoff system. That's just our prediction for this season. And to be honest, the way that the college football season is going to be coming up, we have the SEC, who just been dominating the national championships, the playoff system, the BCS. They have been dominating for a couple of years so. And to be honest, like I told him, I can't remember the last time that we saw other teams other than Clemson, give or take Oklahoma, or even Texas winning the national championship. And this is coming from my dad now, so go ahead.
So basically, we were talking about it, and one of the things we had talked about was the BCS era, and we were talking about how the biggest fear that they had in the BCS era was the fact that it was going to be, they thought it was just going to be dominated by, one school, or it was going to be like, I think once or twice it was like the same, same conference playing in the same for the national championship. And so that's when they changed it to the college football playoffs. And if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, about 2007ish, 8ish, or whatever, when they first started talking about switching it, Nick Saban had warned them that what was going to transpire was going to happen, and now they're trying to fix it to where it's a possibility that it will not be an SEC school or a Big Ten school or them fighting playing for the national championship. But if I'm not mistaken, I think we talked about it, and it was give or take. Every year with the BCS, it was a different team winning the national championship or having a chance to win the national championship. Whereas, as you've seen, I think other than Clemson winning twice, and who was the other team, Charles?
It was Florida State.
Florida State, yeah. Florida State. Those since 2009 or whatever. Since the college football playoff era, only 3 other schools, and it was the ACC, by the way, that has won the national championship since 2009.
So, what's your take on this, Jeffrey? What you got?
I mean, with the SEC, I think, in my honest opinion, the school, I think the schools that have the probability to win a championship this year are schools that come from the SEC. I would say more than likely it's probably gonna be Georgia again. I don't know what Nick Saban gonna do with Alabama this year, because there was a bunch of players that actually went through the NFL draft this year. So I'm gonna look at how Nick Saban does the team this year, because all the good players kind of went through the draft this year. But I would say this year, I wouldn't even be surprised if Georgia won the national championship again this year.
So I'll say that's a good prediction, right? Georgia might be good again this year, but what I made my prediction, and I believe me and my dad had this conversation on Sunday. My prediction was that since Georgia, they had their 2 years, they're going through the championship hangover. You know what I'm saying? They won 2 of them back to back. To me, I just don't think that they're going to win a national championship and go for a three-peat. We seen it with USC. We seen it with, I believe,
Alabama,
Alabama and Clemson. Matter of fact, Alabama and Clemson, they were going for three-peats. But the thing was, it never happened. And to be honest, even Georgia lost a good amount of players. And right now, the way it's looking, I feel with my prediction, which I'm going to do my prediction throughout the SEC. My father's going to do the same thing. And Jeffrey, you're going to do the same thing with your prediction, what you're going to think that the SEC is going to look like, But to me, what's up?
Before we get started with that, man, let me say this right here real quick. Let me show you how crazy college football is right now. Alabama won the national championship in all those years. Florida State won, Clemson won, and Georgia's won, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of them have new quarterbacks this year.
Right.
Exactly. Ain't that crazy? I just wanted to throw that out there.
Exactly right, and that's where I'm going to sit there and say I don't think Georgia could possibly get it done. If they can, kudos to them. But I don't think Georgia can get it done this year. I don't think so. I don't think they have enough talent, especially having to take on LSU, Tennessee, and heck, they even struggled against Missouri. That was the team that won the national championship. That was their little scare. Don't get me wrong. They didn't struggle against TCU because it's TCU. Missouri, though. Missouri been in the SEC for a couple of years. So they know what it's like. Missouri almost upset them. And another team that I think that can possibly upset them is South Carolina. if they play South Carolina this year. I don't know. I got to check the schedule.
That's crazy. The TCU disrespect is crazy.
Hey, hold on. The TCU, but think about it, man. Who in their right mind would have thought that TCU was going to beat Georgia that day?
I mean, to be honest, nobody expected them to even make it to the championship.
It's like, but guess who they played though? Guess who they played?
Hey, Brother Gerard, let me ask you a question though. And and I'm not being biased whatsoever, but I am in a way because I played at Alabama. So you're trying to tell me that TCU was better than the 2-loss Alabama team that lost 2 games by 1 point at the last second of the game?
Nah, I'm not saying TCU better than Alabama. I'm just saying TCU, they might be a sleeper. They might be a sleeper this year. You never know.
Well, I can't tell you because I know a little bit about the history of things. It was a couple of 2 years ago or whatever that TCU went undefeated, and at the time they didn't have the Big 12. They didn't have a Big 12 championship. So somehow, even though they went undefeated, I want to say it was Baylor, but don't quote me on that. Baylor had lost 1 game, but they was undefeated in the Big 12. So they ended up having to split the Big 12. But because they didn't have a Big 12 championship game, they got ousted out of playing for the national championship. So in my personal opinion, and again, like I said, this is just my opinion, this past one was a makeup game for what happened years ago. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody, even though they went undefeated, everybody knew TCU won the 4th best team in the country, man. But they couldn't justify in 2005, I think it was, LSU won the championship with 2 losses, and they vowed never to have a 2-loss team to win the national championship again. You see what I'm saying? And so had they put Alabama in it, they would have repeated what they what they claimed they fixed. And I'm not saying conspiracy theory. Y'all just bear with me. I just know a lot about the history side of it, and that's what I'm on here for.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So we're gonna go ahead and head towards the predictions.
All right.
So go ahead. You can go ahead and go first as our special guest.
All right. So my prediction for
the SEC.
My prediction for the SEC is going to be Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's going to cakewalk into the SEC championship. Believe it or not, man, nobody believes in it. And Brother Drew, I'm sorry, I know you're a Tennessee fan, but we're going to get our get back this year because y'all playing in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And it's just something special about playing in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And Georgia's going to play Alabama, and it's very, very hard to beat Nick Saban twice, man, in a row. You know, even though they didn't play last year like everybody hoped they would or whatever the case would be, this would be the second time for Kirby Smart to play Nick Saban, and it's hard to beat him 2 times in a row.
This would be his 3rd.
But yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
as far as like to beat him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
like in a row. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
My next is the sleeper team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, man, my sleeper team is I got a tie. And my tie is first. I'm going with Florida State. I think they're gonna beat Clemson this year and be the ACC champions.
Right.
And they'll be going into the college football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They won't win the national championship, but they go in there. My other sleeper is, believe it or not, I believe Colorado, Coach Prime, is going to win the Pac-10 championship this year. That's right, I said it. I've been keeping up with them.
Right. So who would be your worst team?
My worst team, I'm going to say Clemson.
Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one.
I say Clemson. Clemson has failed down a lot, man. And, you know, they got content with – and the thing about it is the one part about – and I want you to understand where I'm coming from because here's my perspective. No coach wants to leave Clemson. You know, they don't have admirations to be anything other than what they are at Clemson right now. So you got the head coach with Dabo Swinney. You got a couple of coaches that actually coached Dabo when he was at Alabama. So they really just, kind of hanging out. So they're still teaching the same thing, whatever the case would be. And then also they lost their defense coordinator. He went to Oklahoma, I think, right?
Yes.
And,
I think he's actually the head coach.
Huh?
I think he's actually the head coach.
He's the head coach now. Is he the?
He's either head coach or the Oklahoma or their defensive coordinator.
No, he's the head coach. I'm thinking about Dan Lansing, who was at Georgia, who was at Oregon. Now I get them mixed up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, one of them is at Oklahoma and the other one's at Oregon. But nevertheless, he's the head coach now. So he's the only one that was young enough and wanted to leave and go somewhere else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is content to still coaching the way they coach. And you see, most of those coaches that are coaching at Clemson were coaches at Alabama. And if you notice, they won a national championship in 1992, and I played the rest of the time, and we didn't win a national championship after that.
Right.
So they content with saying, "Hey, I don't want a national championship." So that's my worst team as far as and I say that as a shock and awe or whatever because we all know Vandy gonna be horrible.
Right. Which I'm glad that you went outside of the SEC as well.
Right. Because I'm Alabama, I'm SEC, and then I'm college football. But I watch a lot of stuff, on different things. So that's my prediction, and I regardless of whatever, so I can't go against Alabama every year. I guess I'm going to be Lou Holtz, so I say this year going to be the year that Alabama wins that championship. Lou Holtz say that about Notre Dame all the time. I'm going to say that every year to the day I die. So roll, Tide, roll.
All right. Well, that was my father's prediction, so here comes my prediction of it. So, with my prediction, I feel like it's going to be a little shaky on this one. But with the fact that I think this is the year that we have Texas and Oklahoma in our conference now, I believe. I gotta research on it. I gotta do some research on it. I think it's this year or it might be next year. But my prediction for the SEC, I feel like Alabama is going to be in the SEC championship without a doubt. Without a doubt. But the teams that I think that we're going to lose to, I feel like we're either going to lose. I always do this prediction. We lose one game, but we make it in the playoffs, and we make it to the national championship and win. If we go undefeated this year, if Alabama go undefeated, they're winning the national championship. But if they lose to, they're not going to the playoffs, but they're going to dominate whoever they play in a bowl game. But my prediction with Alabama is going to the SEC championship, but they're losing one game. And that one game, and I'm sorry to say this, but that one game that they lose to is Texas. Texas is going to wake them up. I feel like if they lose to Texas, Texas will wake them up. And that's when the rest of the season that they lock in, because they're going to beat Tennessee, is at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's rare that you get a win out of Bryant-Denny Stadium. You just have to outsmart and outplay Nick Saban at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So with Alabama going to the SEC championship, they're going to lose. They're probably going to lose to Texas. I'm just calling it now. My other team, though, I think Tennessee will make it to the SEC championship instead of LSU. That's just my prediction. They're gonna lose to Alabama, but they'll be able to beat Georgia and beat LSU again this time. And I think LSU will be able to, like I said, I still got to do more research. I still got to do more research and look at all the schedules and see how it's going to go. But I feel like Georgia is going to drop some. I feel like Georgia is going to mess around and drop a couple of games to where they can't make it to the SEC championship. And plus, one of the games that they're going to drop is against Tennessee. I'm calling it now. My sleeper team, though, one of them is definitely Colorado. Coach Prime over there is doing something that he has been trying to do for Jackson State since he got over there. Yes, he went to the championship, the HBCU championship twice, and he lost twice. But that don't mean that he can possibly do the same exact thing at Colorado. Yeah, y'all hear the stories that he been losing all these big prospects that he brought.
So much history.
But I still feel like he can get through that. I still feel like he can get through that situation.
Starts with culture. It's a mentality.
Then,
it's a
on top of that, my next sleeper team, and this is a long stretch. This is a long stretch. This is going to be a team that y'all don't even expect to make it to the playoffs. And it's going to be a team that used to be in the national championship, and that's USC. University of Southern California. Now, the worst team, I'm going to have to agree with this one, Clemson. Clemson have fell off. They have fell off, and Florida State is a team that's going to possibly be that second team. One of the teams is going to be one of those. Florida State is going to be one of the teams that's going to be in the playoffs. And I feel like that's how it's going to play out. Florida State is going to beat Clemson this year. I feel it. Because Clemson fell off. I'm not going to lie. Clemson low-key fell off. So that's my prediction. That's my prediction. You can go ahead and get your prediction up.
Hey, Joe, so we get a prediction now. Let me throw some stuff out there.
I would say it's Georgia. Just based off of the schedule they got this year, their schedule is trash. They are going against trash this year, except for Kentucky, Florida, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. Those are the only. But I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia loses to Tennessee this year. But the rest of these teams, they're going against Georgia Tech, Missouri, Vandy. Vandy is trash. The University of Kentucky, they always beat the University of Kentucky every year since I've been watching them. They go against Auburn. That might be a sleeper. They go against South Carolina. But I would say it's either between Georgia and Alabama in the SEC. Now, if I got to pick a team outside of the SEC that might win a championship, I'm not gonna lie. I might have to go with Ohio State. I might have to go with Ohio State because their schedule actually worse than Georgia. And then every time Ohio State goes against Georgia, like last year they only beat Ohio State by like 1 point. Last year, in the playoffs. So I would say Ohio State is a sleeper. Texas, the Longhorns, they're a sleeper as well. But if I had to pick somebody at the SEC, I would try to say Georgia, Alabama. But if I had to pick somebody, outside of that, I'm gonna go with the Big Ten, Ohio State. That's just my opinion. I think, yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. That's what I'm gonna go with. I don't see Tennessee going to the championship this year. I just don't. They gotta get Tennessee together. They gotta get Tennessee together.
All right, so now before I had cut you off, where you was going to go ahead and say.
Okay, what I was gonna say is while you were making your predictions, I was doing some some research or whatever. July 1st, 2024 is when Texas and Oklahoma is set to join the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just throwing it. So it'll be the 2024 season.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be this year. Also, I'm rocking with that Tennessee possibly going to the SEC championship game, only because of the fact that Georgia plays Tennessee in Knoxville.
Right.
So I'm really feeling that. I went and looked up the schedule or whatever, but I'm just throwing this out there to Brother Jariah. So I'm rocking with your picks or whatever, but at the same time, I'm looking at Ohio State ain't beat Michigan in 2 years, and that's gonna be really tough because I think they playing in Michigan in Ann Arbor this year.
No. Yeah. They are. They playing in Ann Arbor.
And I'm just talking because your predictions, but I throw stuff out there. In order for USC to play for the national championship, they're gonna have to win the Pac-10. So that kind of throws my prediction off of Coach Prime. I'm just throwing it out there to you.
Well, so I think Colorado don't join them, or I think they're leaving Pac-10.
They're in the Pac-10 right now.
Yeah, and they're going to be going to the Pac-12 next 2024.
I mean, they're in the Pac-12. They're going to the Big Ten in 2024.
Right.
So, because I think USC is going to the Big Ten as well. No, I'm telling you wrong. Colorado is going to the Big 12.
Yeah,
they're going to the Big 12 where it's going to probably replace with Oklahoma and them. So
USC is going to the Big 10.
All right. So now let's go ahead and head towards topic number 2, which is more about NFL football now. So just then, I was literally scrolling through. I was literally scrolling through Facebook and came across this small article from the NFL and ESPN themselves. And I don't know if anybody else saw it. I ended up sharing it as well. So if you see it on my page on Facebook, it's the fact that now they are trying to show the Super Bowl out of all games. The Super Bowl on Nickelodeon.
I'm not surprised.
I kid you not. It is on there right now. I don't know if it's official. I don't know if it's a prank. I don't know if they're just playing around or just want to grab attention. But there's the reason that they are trying to, bring Nickelodeon into the mix is that the NFL will have its first Super Bowl alternate telecast this season. As in meaning this Super Bowl that's going to be coming up for this season. Nickelodeon will broadcast the game to bring in more attention to the Super Bowl for kids. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of not a fan. But we do want the future to learn more about the game. So I kind of understand more than not liking the fact that they're going to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of up in the air on that one. It's like something that I need to look into because the future is bright for the NFL, especially with these newcomers. And we got to think about the future because there's a YouTuber that I watch. His name is AJ Green, not the actual football player. He's a football player himself. He's I'm not trying to downplay him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to talk down on him. He didn't make it to the league, so he ended up doing YouTube, which is a good thing. He goes to high school games and show high school football, He actually went to Alabama for the first time and showed how Alabama high school football games are. You know what I'm saying? Showed the players how they play and all that. You know, they're getting looked at because of that. Because nowadays, college coaches go to YouTube as well to check out these players. And also, they even also check out his youth channel that he has for the youth, a youth only, and how they play football with their 7-on-7. It's a great YouTube channel. It's great content. I think y'all should check it out. But you know, I think that's what is the real reason that they're doing it and putting it on Nickelodeon. Not only to give the chance for kids to watch the game and learn, you know, and just enjoy the festivities of the Super Bowl, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to try to make it as child proof, I guess, if that makes sense. And, you know, try to make it to where the grown-ups can enjoy the game as well. You know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, because I remember, because if I'm not mistaken, there was a couple of games. There was a couple of games that the Nickelodeon NFL had did this year. Well, not this year, but last season. They did the Denver versus the Rams for Christmas for the Christmas game. They also did the 49ers versus the Cowboys during the playoffs last year as well. They're also gonna the two games that they have right now that I see on the schedule is the Raiders versus the Chiefs for Christmas this season, and of course the Super Bowl this year. I've noticed that the NFL and Nickelodeon with their partnership, trying to get the kids more involved with the game. I'm surprised that the NBA hasn't done that, but I think kids kind of gravitate towards the NBA anyways. Um, but it's pretty interesting. It's interesting what they do with the Super Bowl this year. I know they got a Christmas Day game this year. Um, it'd be surprising how they do it, because I'm gonna be honest. Um, ain't nobody watching Nickelodeon for real. Like, be honest, nobody's watching Nickelodeon like that for real. No more. They don't have no good. They don't have any good. Well, in my opinion, it might be because I grew up in the era of the good Nickelodeon shows, but the shows on Nickelodeon garbage. They're garbage now. So I don't know. Maybe they're doing that. I guess I don't know if Viacom is doing that. In order to get um the kid demographic back. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why they're doing that, but it'll be interesting to see this year how they do it.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead. I already know how it's going to go. We are totally different when it comes to our NFL teams. For those that don't know, I am a New Orleans Saints, and my father hate me for that because he is
How about them boys?
a Cowboys fan. Look, the apple didn't fall that far to the tree, you know, when it came to me, you know. I saw it. I just grew up. I love the black and gold. For some reason, the black and gold just, you know, came to me, you know. Jeffrey, on the other hand,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am a Steelers fan. Been a Steelers fan since 2007.
so we're all over the place when it comes to our NFL teams. We're all over the place, but we already going to try to do the predictions, and I'm going to be brutally honest with my
Now,
prediction.
let me say it. Let me say it.
No. We're gonna be brutally honest. We're gonna be brutally honest with our predictions.
None of our teams is getting to the Super Bowl. Not none of our teams is getting to the Super Bowl.
Hey, I'm with you.
None of them. Absolutely none of them.
None of them are not going to the Super Bowl. We're gonna one of us out of one of us probably gonna have a great season. Out of one of us, it is not going to be the New Orleans Saints. It's not. Cause one, Michael Thomas, he's hurt. I saw, you know what, on last week Friday actually, Michael Thomas is back practicing. That is a bad thing though to me because they always show that he's back practicing. Then somehow, some miraculous way, he gets hurt. Now, for me, I honestly, I don't know why we haven't tried to get rid of the elephant of the room. And then it's the fact that not only we got this elephant, we added more elephants. Don't get me wrong. I haven't gave up hope on my team. I haven't. Don't get me wrong. I hope the Saints do phenomenal this year. I hope we do whatever we can to get either the best picks or just even get our confidence back of being a playoff caliber team. Right now, we haven't been a playoff caliber team since Drew Brees left. Since Drew Brees left, we haven't had a chance to make it to the playoffs. We haven't. Because right now, we have Jameis Winston. We have, what's buddy name? Derek Carr. Out of all places. It's like we're playing with the New Orleans Saints. Well, no, we're not playing. The fans, we're not playing it. We're gonna love them. We're gonna love them for that season. But it just feels like they're playing with us. It just feels like it. And to be honest, I don't think that we're gonna make it to the playoffs this year because we're still hurting on. We're still kind of hurting on offense. We're still kind of hurting on defense. And really and truly, those two are the most important. Even though, like the old time saying from football, offense bring the fans to buy tickets. The defense win championships. And that's my prediction for my team. You can go ahead, special guest.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you about the Cowboys. They was who we thought they were. That's what one. Danny Green was the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's pretty much what it was. We always have hopes of going to the championship. Hadn't been there since the '90s. You have I just want you to know this right here. Can we trade our owner? Can we waive our owner?
That would be for you to say that would be so smart to do. Like, let's do like a random draft or just a random trade of owners and see how real good of an owner they are.
Right. He said numerous times, and I quote, He'll write a check for any amount that he can to win a championship. Of course, he can't really do that because you got the cap or whatever, the salary cap or whatever. But at the same time, I'm looking at the fact that you get rid of a running back, even though he was declining or whatever. You get rid of a running back and don't want to pay him $10 to $15 million, and then you turn around and re-sign a cornerback. Although he pretty decent, to a $98 million contract. And I'm just like, it make sense to me. And that's the same thing I said about the Cowboys. So what's gonna end up happening? This is my prediction for the Cowboys. They're gonna win just enough games to make it to the playoffs, and they're gonna figure out a way in the first round to get bounced like they always do. And until they prove me different, but I'm still gonna be rooting for them, just like you root for the Saints. I'm still gonna be rooting for them, but at the same time, I look for the worst and hope for the best with the Cowboys. That's how I root for them.
That's how I root for the Saints. That is exactly how I root for the Saints.
Some people might say you're not a true Cowboys fan. No, man, I'm a realist.
I'm a realist. Like every year, like just with Alabama. Don't get me wrong. Somebody looked at me crazy when I was like, Alabama been winning so many national championships to the point like sometimes I kind of do want to see a new national champion. That don't mean that I'm not a true Alabama fan. It's just that we got to the point to where we winning so much to where if I see us in the national championship, well, we're gonna win. We're gonna win, and then that's when the I'm a college football fan started building, and that literally started building in 2018. Back literally, but we're gonna go ahead, let Jeffrey get his prediction in. But before he start, I want to go ahead and thank my dad for stopping by, joining us as we get this video done.
Yeah, sir.
You know, I really appreciate my dad for stopping by. We had made this conversation up to try to get this done, and we got it done effectively. But you know, appreciate everything. You know, thank you for your time. Thank you for your predictions on how you feel about the NFL and college football, on how it's going to go for the season. We hope very, very well that we all enjoy the college football season and NFL season as it is approaching. But you have anything you want to say before you go?
Hey, one last word, man. I really want to tell you how proud I am of you, man. And also, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this and to think enough for me to be able to do it. But real quick, my sleeper team in the NFL, I'm going to say this before I go, is the Carolina Panthers.
Whoa. Well, there you have it, man. There you
I'm
have
going to leave it at
it.
that. Thank you, man.
Well, there you have it. That's my dad. He's going to go ahead and head off. Hope you have a good one or a good rest of your day and all that type of stuff. And I'll make sure I hit you up later on, man.
All right, do that.
All right.
All right.
Dang, he hung up quick. God, dog. All right, go ahead with your prediction, man. How you got yourself doing?
Man, the Steelers, I really don't know what they're doing this year. They're still they're still trying to figure out who's even going to be the starting quarterback this year between Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. Kenny was a rookie last year. They was even trying to figure out who they was going to have as the quarterback at the end of the season. So I'm trying to see what the Steelers going to do between Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. They also, while I'm on the Steelers, they also their rookie CB actually just got injured. Um, our rookie got injured. If I'm not mistaken, I think he got injured. I think he got injured today. Corey Trice Jr. He got called off. He got injured during training camp. So that's just another L for the Steelers. I see us having the same record that we did last year, going 9-8. I don't see us making to the playoffs. Let me look up their schedule. Because I gotta look at their schedule. I think they might still go 9-8 this year. They go against the 49ers, they go against the Browns, they go against the Raiders, the Texans, the Ravens twice. They actually go against the Ravens in their last game of the season, in Baltimore. So I don't know. I don't know. I think they actually might win against the Packers um since what's his face not there no more. I forgot his damn name. Aaron Rodgers ain't there no more. I don't even want to know. I be forgetting Aaron Rodgers' name on purpose. I don't like Aaron Rodgers like that. But I'll probably see us going maybe 9-8, 9-9. You know, the Steelers is kind of rebuilding just like the Saints are this year. They're trying to figure out how can the first thing we got to figure out, especially with the Saints, how are we going to get into the playoffs? Not even that. How are we going to get into like maybe a wild card a wild card predicament? Where we can be in the wild card game in order to get into the playoffs. Um, so I'm still rocking with my Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I still got faith in them that they'll win another championship one day. But right now, they just rebuilding. I mean, every team gonna goes through a rebuilding phase. So Um, your predictions for the Super Bowl? I might see. I might. It might be. It might be the Chiefs. It might be the Chiefs. It might be the Chiefs who win this year. I still have to see how the season goes for my predictions. For that, for just a preseason prediction, I might see the Chiefs going. Um, I could possibly maybe see the Eagles there going there. Um, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about Super Bowl just yet. I had to see how the season goes and then how the playoffs go as well.
Well, with my prediction, and I'm gonna have to ask my dad later on, what would be, his prediction for the Super Bowl. But for my prediction, I feel like the Eagles have an opportunity to go back to the Super Bowl this year. But this time, they will be able to win the Super Bowl, bring the Super Bowl back to Philly. But the team that they're going to possibly go against will not be the Chiefs. I feel like this is going to be a long stretch. But for my sleeper team, for real, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hold on. I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially with all that talent they got as a wide receiver core, having Travis Etienne at the backfield with Trevor Lawrence coming off of a hot season last year. I feel like their offense is going to help them win and get to the Super Bowl. But they're going to have to play the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not getting past that because, one, they have a decent defense, but their defense will not be enough for Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders, and the list just goes on and on and on. And it's just going to be a great battle between some of Clemson and some of Alabama literally playing. It's going to give that the mindset of playing for a national championship for them again.
Now, I will say this. Now, my bad. You can answer what you said.
Oh no, I was done.
Oh, I was gonna say because the Jaguars, their schedule is actually relatively easy this year. The only teams they really gotta really look out for is the Chiefs because they play the Chiefs this year. The Ravens, the Bengals, and maybe if they slip up, the Texans. Because they schedule they go against the Colts, they should beat the Colts. They go against the Texans twice, one at home and one on the road. They go against the Falcons. The Falcons is the Falcons. Nobody expect nothing from them. Oh, they do go against the Bills. I forgot about them. The Bills. They're probably gonna hit a robot with the Bills. But I do see them getting into the playoffs though. I can see it. I can see them getting to the playoffs this year. Because their schedule is relatively easy. Like they're going against the Titans. You should beat the Titans, but they go against the Buccaneers. There's no Tom Brady there. They go against the Browns. I mean, it's the Browns. They go against the Titans again. The Steelers. They might win against the Steelers. I'm not really sure. I might have to see how that is because that's way in October. The 49ers, they might lose against the 49ers. It looks like on paper, it looks like they have a good schedule. But we just gonna have to see how they go against these teams when they get on the field. When it's time to get on the field. So
But we're gonna make this a 2-part video now. So the first part is going to be about college football and NFL. Then the next part will be this part, the part that we just done finished. So, as that being said, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the Hidden Kaminari Village. Smash the like button. And before I end it, Brother Jariah, take it away.
Y'all already know, man. Follow me on Instagram as brother.jariah. On Twitter is Brother Jariah, one word. Also on YouTube is also Brother Jariah. Be part of Discord. We're trying to get the Discord jumping. You know what I'm saying? Detective Walker, he's already there. He's already in the Discord. He's already a mod. Join the Discord, man.
Well, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the Hidden Kaminari Village. I know I said that before, but be a part of the Hidden Kaminari Village. It's your boy Tave. And it's your boy Brother Jariah signing off.
One side, killing dog. Pass it one side.